Can we go over 13? It's like fractions with inequalities, and I was confused.
Okay. All right, number 13. And so we're looking at the one I'm looking at here. It's 1/3 less than or equal to x plus 1 over 4 less than or equal to 4/5. Now, you don't have to clear the fractions in order to do the problem if you want to just work with the fractions. But anytime you're have an inequality or equation that has fractions in it, you have the ability to clear the fractions, given that I can multiply by anything as long as I multiply it everywhere. So it's a double inequality, which would just simply mean if we leave it as a double inequality, multiply here, here, and here. Now, if you have variables in the denominator, you don't have a choice. You're going to have to clear the fractions. But if it's numerical, again, it's a choice. But either way, it's find the LCD, least common denominator, which is the smallest quantity that all those denominators will divide into evenly. So if I've got 3, 4, and 5, then the smallest number that is going to be divisible by 3, 4, and 5 would be 60. So, and again, since it's the LCD and all denominators will divide into it evenly, you're guaranteed that the fractions will be, the denominators will be eliminated. 3 will go into 60 20 times. So I've got 20 less than or equal to. 4 will go into 60 15 times. Now there's up in this numerator, it's a quantity, so I'll write 15 times the quantity x plus 1. And then the 5 will go into 60 12 times. And then you're going to have 12 times 4. For the which is already there, so that's going to leave me with 48. Are we okay so far? Yeah or nay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So from here, let's, we've eliminated the fractions. We won't have to deal with those. So I distribute to 15, which would give me 15x plus 15 less than or equal to 48. Subtract 15 everywhere. So here would leave me with 5 less than or equal to 15x. And 48 minus 15 would be a net of 33. Then just divide everywhere by 15 to isolate x in the middle. And so I'm going to have 5/15, which would reduce to 1/3. Less than or equal to x, less than or equal to, and here top and bottom would have a common factor of 3, so that would reduce to 11/5. And so your solution set here would be an interval notation bracket, since it's or equal to 1/3 including 1/3 up to 11/5 and including 11/5. We good? All right. Do you have another problem?
I don't think so.
All
No.
good? All right. If not, time is a little bit of a factor because I have to, I'm at home still, but I'm going to need to get to campus as soon as I can. So if there's no other questions, I want to go over the test for tomorrow. I did work on it yesterday. You'll see it, it is up in my math lab. So when you go to take the test, you will log in to my math lab. Um, um, as you normally would, go to assignments and click on what is titled Chapter 1 test. It's going to come up and ask for a password, which Ms. Deweese will have. I'm going to email her today and give her the password. So,
Is that all she needs? She was asking us about that last period.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Is the password all she's going to need to?
Yeah, yeah. So she won't need to do anything else but have the password to give you. Now, I'm going to assume the other two are going to take it tomorrow at some point.
That was the other question. She wanted to know if they could like take it in first period, which would be like 8 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, that's not a problem. So what will happen, because you will be allowed, and this is important, and I will communicate this with Ms. Deweese. You're going to have 2 attempts at this test.
Okay.
Right. High score counts, so you can't hurt yourself on the second attempt. But after that first attempt, definitely, if you go look in your grade book, you'll see a hyperlink that says review, and you can review through all the problems of the test and make sure you're good with why, if you missed a particular problem. And if not, definitely either shoot me an email or something so we can make sure we get it clarified that you understand, the problem. And then at that point, you're going to have to coordinate with Ms. Deweese to take the test again at some other point. It can be at any time, okay, on that second attempt. So after everybody takes the test tomorrow morning, I will change the password, which she'll have the new password. When she gives you the password, incidentally, it's just something I do. They are ski runs, like, so they are names of ski runs. Statistically speaking, it's going to be very difficult to pick it out. They are from resorts and ski areas all over North America. So places I've been. So anyway, you'll get it when you hear the password tomorrow. So with no further ado, let's talk about the test. So here are the specs. I got it down to 20 problems.
Okay.
So there's 20 problems. Now my math lab does an analysis of time per problem, estimated time per problem. Total, their estimate is 31 minutes, 56 seconds, which is certainly under your 45-minute limit for the period. But again, and I'll, if by chance you don't finish, don't hit submit, just X out, close it, right? And then come back later tomorrow and finish the exam, okay? All your work will be there. They have a 4-tier rating system: easy, moderate, hard, very hard. So out of the 20 problems, 1 is rated as easy, 17 are moderate, and 2 are rated at hard. None are rated at very hard. You will have seen every problem either in homework and or quizzes. So that's that. And then looking at let me go back and look at one thing. Okay. Fairly evenly distributed. And now that I'm looking at this, I'm actually going to take a few other problems out. They're relatively easy. I'd never assigned 1.1. I remember because we got off to a little bit of a late start, and we actually started into 1.2. And I just caught that. So I'm going to have to actually edit on this a little bit more. So it's going to be less than 20. I can't tell you exactly how many. I would say it may be 17 to 18 problems now. Okay. So I'm going to take those 1.1s out. So 1.2, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1.3, that was so 1.2 is quadratic equations. 1.3 was complex numbers, of which there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1.4 was radical equations and equations quadratic in form. And there's 3 of those. 1.5, there's 1, and then equality. And there's 2 problems from 1.6, which was absolute value equations and equality. So basically there's 1 absolute value equation, there's 1 absolute value inequality. So that's how the test breaks down.
Okay.
And that again, and me taking out a few of the 1.1 problems is going to shorten that. I can't tell you how much. I would say it's probably going to drop it by a couple minutes on their estimated time. It's probably more like 29 minutes. So, and given that I gave this test to my group Monday night, and they all finished within an hour. So, and they actually had 23 problems. I don't think I will be surprised if anybody is going to need to come back later in the day to take it. But if you do, don't feel bad. You have that opportunity. So you're not, you don't have that time pressure. All right. So with that said, is there anything you want to cover before we go?
I just have a question. In the syllabus, it says that we can have a piece of paper for notes.
Okay. Yeah. So it should say something like an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. Yeah. So it's there. Honestly, that came from somebody else who does that, and I forgot to remove that. So I am not going to do that at this point. It's in the syllabus. So yes, and I will relay that to Ms. DeWeese as well, that is allowed. All right?
Okay. Okay.
So,
Okay.
yep. Now, the deal with that is basically, I have done that in the past myself, but I always use a 3x5 note card. I don't make it quite as big as a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, but it has to be handwritten, right? So, but what I have found, if you make a study sheet like that, and construct it and put everything on there, by the time you're done with it, you really don't even need it anymore. It's actually a good study tool. So, but yeah, I will allow that because it's on the syllabus and has been on the syllabus.
All right.
So, any other questions?
I don't think so.
Okay. If something comes up, you think of something, shoot me an email before tomorrow. Okay. And I will, it'll be this afternoon because I got to run the campus, and but sometime, I'd say before 2 o'clock, I will email Ms. DeWeese the password and other details about the test.
Okay. All right.
Sounds
All right.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. See you on Tuesday of next week.
Okay.
Thank you.
See you guys.